Test, test. Boots.
Test.
Good job,
Does
Annie.
it look good? I feel
Looks
like we
good.
had problems last time.
No, it looks great, honey. Okay.
Thank gosh we're in person.
Thank God. That was too much. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Dollspace. We are so sorry we missed you last week. We were sobbing in Vegas into our slot machines, into our millions that we won.
And then promptly lost.
No one came out on top on this trip.
No, not even our pro gambler, Christine.
Yeah, Christine was down
$500.
$500.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
You win some, you lose some.
And she does win some.
And I lost my voice.
Oh, the desert will do that to you, eh?
Well, the desert, but you know me. Like,
She had one party.
Oh, yeah. I can't go out one night without completely losing my voice. But then the specific combo of, like, desert, so much alcohol, no water, one cigarette.
Oh, I love... Okay, my favorite thing in the world...
And screaming.
Yeah, screaming.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the world...
With glee. Screaming with glee.
Happy, yeah. Not in terror.
No.
My favorite thing in the world is when Annie smokes. When Annie decides to hack a dart, it makes my fucking day.
I do it like once or twice a year.
That's generous.
And you think...
I don't know.
You think less or more?
I feel like less. I don't know.
Once a year? How could it be any less?
Some years are a pass.
I feel like it's usually like on my birthday or at some sort of concert, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, like at
or
the field at
vacation.
like Bud Stage.
Yeah, exactly.
You're hacking.
It depends. I need to be like over 3 drinks to even think about it. That's how much I don't like cigarettes.
This is how funny it is that like 3 drinks is enough for Annie to do something she doesn't like. Like the the comparison between how many drinks it takes me to do something I don't like is like
3
dark.
drinks is like what I drink is like my max usually.
What?
And yeah. I like pretty much never have more than 3 drinks ever.
What?
In the last
like as an
couple
adult
years.
Yeah.
Obviously not in my 20s.
I was gonna say,
but I was talking to Luke last night, and like the first night in Vegas, we're really jumping right into it. I got so drunk, and I was extremely hungover.
How many drinks did you have that night?
That's the thing, right? Like I just felt like absolute garbage. Like didn't know if I was gonna make it to the pool party. You had to bring me Pepto, Chris had to bring me Benadryl. Like it was the whole thing. I had to like shove a croissant down my gullet. And I was talking to Luke, and I'm like, I don't know, I must have had like 7 drinks or like 8 drinks or something. And
was he like, okay?
Yeah, because then he went out on Saturday, and he was like, I actually think I had like 50 drinks. And I was like, to be like not even the same amount hungover than me. I'm like, but for me, that's more than double my usual. So yeah, that's gonna fuck me up.
I love when Joe says something like that. Like he'll just go, I had 37 drinks.
Yeah, he's like, I had 7 drinks before like we even went to the barbecue. I was like, well,
congratulations. You're a man.
And, yeah,
you're
exactly.
6
You're
feet tall.
so much heavier than me, and
you're
like
so handsome and big. You're so big and strong.
Masculine.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you can just drink more. I never said I was a tank.
No, you never said that.
In fact, I'm a lightweight.
And you're beautiful for that. You're an angel. Basically, Annie was violently hungover in the morning, and you really rallied. Like, to be
Really
hungover
rallied.
and then get a bathing suit on and look hot at a beach club is a real
And
rally.
start drinking again
in the day. Like,
Yeah.
it's one thing to rally for the following night in a snowstorm and you can wear a big suit. But to, like, wake up and have to look hot, because when you're hungover, you also feel, like, bloated and disgusting.
Well, not the kind of hungover I was.
That's right. Annie emptied herself.
That was the only
She's
silver
never felt
lining.
better. That was like me in Bahamas when I got like I don't know what I got, like
A bug.
a bag. Got a little bug in my fucking colon. And shit water the first like 3 days of my honeymoon, and like the pictures from those first few days are chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Anyway, so then we went to Tao Beach Club, which we balled out, and we got a little cabana thing because Joe, my husband, went there for his bachelor party, and he's like, don't fucking buy anything. Like, you're girls. Like, just go there and look hot and like whatever. And we were
we were going to get an area. We didn't want to just go like GA.
Yeah. And like, yes, if some guys would let us in and then be like, be
And
like,
they would, but do you want to?
no, then you have to be at their mercy.
Yeah, exactly. You have
at
to chill
mercy
with
for
them.
your shade and water.
Mhm.
Absolutely not.
Not for that kind of thing. At a
No.
club, fine,
Mm-hmm.
but not for something where you're battling the elements.
No, and we were battling.
Yeah.
That it was fucking hot. It's the desert. If you guys haven't been to Vegas, it's like any desert climate in the States. It's like so fucking dry and hot during the day and then can be shockingly cold at night.
But we got lucky with 2 warm nights.
It's true.
The last night was not so good, but
Yeah.
like weather-wise.
So then when they were at Tao Beach Club, me and my friend left like after like 4 hours or something like that. These girls stayed for another few hours. I love when Annie gets like this. She's so silly. Then they stayed for another few hours. Meet a group of 21-year-old boys.
No, these weren't the 21-year-olds.
They were.
We met them the
Oh,
night
no. These
before.
ones were 27.
Yeah.
Sorry. Still. Great age, actually. 27's fine.
Yeah, they were fun and rich. We were like, "What? How are you doing this?" It wasn't a bachelor party. They were coming for fun.
Wait,
Went
weren't they
to-
going to see that fight?
Yeah, but like they just decided to do that. It wasn't like for a special occasion.
Yeah.
Went to UFC, which is already expensive. Went to the beach club and got like a sicker booth than us that had a way higher minimum. They're also men, so it was going to be a higher minimum
Yeah.
anyway. And went to a club 2 nights and like kept getting us limos and stuff. We were like, wow, it really never ends.
And the 21-year-olds you met the night before were also rich.
They were like, I mean, honestly, both these groups were daddy's money, but
Yeah.
the 21-year-olds were the most daddy's money I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of the guys graduated from university and was like, oh, yeah, I graduated and now I have an internship at William Morris.
Yeah, he was like, I'm graduating early with an internship at WME. I'm like, okay, well,
Okay, well.
how'd you get that?
And you know
Nepo
what?
baby
I'll
status.
never shit on a Nepo baby, though. I love them.
No, I mean,
So many Nepo
got
babies.
it, flaunt it.
Kate Hudson, I don't know where I'd be without her.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I'm just, you know what the thing about Nepo babies are? It's like if you look into a lot of these like older actors that people are like obsessed with, like a lot of that, like Jane Fonda is a Nepo baby. So I'm like, okay, I wanted her though.
Yeah,
Like-
and also, yeah, I wanted her.
I like am happy
well,
that
and
she
also,
made
so
it.
many people go into the family business, so it's weird. Like,
Yeah.
Luke's uncle works in Scrap. Was he a Nepo baby? Kind of. Like, he got the meeting.
Scrap Nepo baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Well, I'm
Pretty
self-made, honey.
sick. But also, we got our university paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot
And
of good
we're
those
really
degrees.
using it. We're really using it. Honestly, my parents really could have saved that money, but no, we are very blessed.
know.
Although
You
I
never know.
no, could still use it. I'm definitely not using my English degree. I don't even speak. I don't even have a grasp on the language.
You're a great writer.
A great writer, but a horrible.
You were
speller.
already. I don't think the U of T helped you with that at all.
No, definitely not. It was all grammar, and I still don't know what grammar is.
And I got an American Studies degree, and I
Love the
promptly moved
States.
home.
Oh yeah.
Now I live in Canada. But I know a lot about the Civil War
Wow, that's really good, Annie.
and American history in general.
Yeah, that's good
But
to know.
really not that much. It's a bachelor's degree. How much can you really know?
I don't know. Like more than a high school degree, probably.
More than high school, but much less than like a history buff who does it for fun, I think.
Like my fucking husband who like
Yes. who
enjoys history for fun.
Yeah, exactly. I know 100%. I know much less than Joe,
Yeah.
and he's like a self-taught American Studies.
I
degree
think a lot
person.
of people I think a lot of people that just take an interest in something might know more about it than anybody that
Yeah.
goes. We're not anybody that goes to school for it, but like
Also, don't you notice in school, like the things that you were interested in, it was like it wasn't long enough. It was like, well, sorry,
Yeah.
like we would read an article or like a little snippet from a book,
yeah,
and I'd be like, wow, what an interesting topic, and they're like, well, okay, on to like
yeah,
a completely other time period now because this is a half credit
yeah.
and we have to move along.
We have to
weekly.
move along.
But
And
when you're learning yourself, you can really dive
you
in.
can really go at your own pace. So that's the lesson here, kids. Just learn yourself on the internet. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Who
I mean, that
cares?
might be the lesson.
Yeah, that actually might be the lesson. We have so much at our disposal. Why go to school for that piece of paper? Please don't be a cuck. Employers don't even care anymore. Anyway,
True. Just be a Nepo baby.
anything else happen in Vegas that you want to talk about? Like,
Carbone was shit. I don't know if we're telling that on the Patreon though.
oh no, we can tell that here. Oh, or should we leave it for the Patreon so we bait some people?
I mean,
What the hell else are we going to talk about on the Patreon? I'm
I know-
kidding.
No, I was kind of thinking that too. If you're a Patreon member,
We are so sorry about last week.
I know we fucked up last week.
We really fucked up. Like, we know that, but
that's why I feel like we should save something.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna tell the Carbone story on the Patreon then.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Carbone was shit. That's all you have to know. My cancellation has passed. So far, so good.
We hope, yeah.
It's been a few weeks since I was canceled for saying Cowboy Carter isn't good, and I
took
think,
a breather.
Yeah, I took a breather, and I think everything's
back.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Everyone missed you.
Conveniently, the same time I was getting canceled and losing thousands of followers, one of those freaky ASMR like TikTok accounts, like, you know, the ones where like half of it is like a creator and the other half is someone making like paper mache. So someone was making paper mache and one of my TikToks got duetted with that, and I got all the followers back.
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy? And people will always DM me.
Talking about?
It was talking about how I got expelled.
And someone was doing paper mache.
And then it's like no one's doing paper mache to that. Well, yeah, it's to that. I'll explain. Have you never seen these videos where it's like a split screen of like someone playing with like goo?
Is the point so that you can have something visual while listening to something?
Yes, I think so. I think it's to overstimulate you.
That's the same, like, point behind Get Ready With Me's.
Yeah.
Because it's like nice to watch someone do makeup while talking.
Yes. And anybody on TikTok, like those TikTok like gurus who like obviously like no one actually knows how the algorithm works, but the gurus will always say like do something, like draw attention to your face, do this, do that, and that is why the Get Ready With Me story times are like so good. So it's like that, except lazy, because someone's just stealing a clip from some ASMR channel and then stealing my content and then mashing it together, probably in fucking America, and making thousands of dollars on my content. But you know what, man? I don't give a fuck, because I'm not getting paid either way. Someone should make some money off this, and if it gets me clout, then I don't give a shit. So anyway, that clout got me. I like the ones
where someone's watching someone say something kind of crazy.
I know the best guy for you. I have the best fucking guy for you.
Is it the guy who watches people make coffee drinks?
No, it's the guy that goes sharing my FYP with you today, and it's just the most insane shit, and he just watches it like this. His name's Logan.
Like that.
And he actually just followed me back. I felt honored. All he does is stare at fucked up shit, and he followed me, and I was like, celeb.
It really does make a crazy video even better.
So funny.
You do feel like you're with someone.
Oh my God.
You feel like it's very like Jim from The Office, like zooming in on like, are you getting this?
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Yes. There was one, this guy stitched. Okay, there's 2 TikTok videos I urge everybody to search if you want to have a laugh. One of them is like, I don't know what you would type in, but try like backyard white trash wedding.
Oh.
Have you seen that video?
Yes.
It is the funniest thing. This is probably the meanest thing I'll ever say, because this is shitting on someone else's genuine life. But that is the most trashy thing I've ever seen. It's so funny. This chick with purple hair and like her brother, who's like in head to toe like West 49 Ed Hardy type shit, walks down their like falling apart wooden porch to music that's playing off an iPhone, and then they walk through an unkept yard between 2 women in wheelchairs. Why are they both? That's the only people at the wedding. 2 women in wheelchairs. There's only 2 of them. They're on their last legs. And whoever's filming, I don't know. And while she's walking down the aisle, her husband's standing between the 2 women in the wheelchairs, just filming her with the flash on outside. Oh my God, it's so funny.
You know what I'm realizing in this moment? I think I've seen a different white trash wedding.
I have to show you this one. There's something about it that like I've watched it like 20 times. I'm like, there's something so like beautiful about getting a glimpse into like a completely different lifestyle. Like, it's not that I'm not like, oh my God, like fuck you. I'm like, wow, interesting. Wow.
And you know what? As someone who's like very close to her way too expensive, way too time consuming wedding, I'm like,
there's something
that's beautiful. Like, it's just 2 people in love. You're in your backyard. Come as you are.
The caption is,
I get it fucking
marrying
done. Like,
my friend of 23 years. And why that's funny is because it's like,
you had that long to think about it.
Like,
to like prepare.
What took you 23 years to go out in your backyard? The fuck? 23 years later, we finally did it. You finally did what? This is a fucking barbecue. There's not even a barbecue. Like, you guys have to watch it. Like, it's so funny. And the song, I feel like, is like, you know, this aesthetic. It's like 3 Doors Down or something. Like, it's just so good. Like, and the other video that this guy Logan reacts to is this girl being like, this chick who's like a little bit grizzly, going, if, you know, when my coworkers ask me, what I would do if someone was coming after my husband, the answer is like, I'd catch a charge. I'd kill them. And she's just like talking so close to the camera about what she would do if someone like was after her husband. She's like, first of all, he'd hold up the ring and they'd know, back off. That's my man. But if that didn't work, then I'd have to go after them. And then a few videos later, she does a husband reveal, and the guy is, I'm not kidding, 85 years old.
Oh my God.
So good. That's my favorite side of the internet. Like really seeing lives that are nothing like mine and enjoying that.
Yeah. And having someone show you, because like the algorithm's not really showing me too much of that.
No, I have to show it to you.
Only wedding content.
Okay,
right
my
now.
algorithm is like fucking Hicks doing weird shit.
You know what I've been really liking from you though?
What?
Is how much of the Ryan Gosling SNL you have been reposting.
Oh.
I feel like I've watched that entire SNL episode on TikTok and I have been crying laughing at every skit.
Me too.
It's so
That
funny.
is how I watch SNL now, by the way, on Instagram or TikTok,
It
which
makes
is really
sense.
smart of them. And
really smart. They get lots of views.
Oh, I
So
think
it's
they're bringing
genius.
back SNL that way
Yeah.
because like, or like introducing
And it's
it.
actually funny. Like I'm like, good for them. They're actually funny.
Good writers. And
Yeah.
have you watched the Please Don't Destroy? The three guys.
I've seen like some of their stuff. Yeah.
They are so fucking
Yeah,
funny.
I'm gonna like watch this season. Like they got me. That was really smart of them.
Yes.
To put the
And
clips on there.
Ryan Gosling is always great on
Oh
SNL
my God,
too.
he's
Like,
so
did you
funny.
see the Papyrus one?
Yes.
Holy shit! Like that was a film. That was a short
funny.
film. Yeah.
I saw one today. Actually, I meant to send it to you, but I was like, you probably already saw it. With the guy who like regrets proposing to his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. When he's like, "This
Okay,
is you."
go watch SNL on TikTok. Watch the Ryan Gosling thing. I'm not even gonna like describe it, but
Yes.
you're in for a treat.
Oh yeah, go watch that. There's a few. Oh, there was also there was a good one. Nate, what's that Italian comedian Nate
Oh yeah.
Barbarazzi or something? No. His name is Nate, not Sebastian Maniscalco.
No. Marcelo.
No.
Hernandez?
I'm talking about the host, Nate.
Oh, the host, Bergazzi or
Nate
something.
Bargatze. Yeah. Okay, scroll down on SNL's TikTok and watch the Nate Bargatze episode. There are so many good skits in that. It's so
Okay,
fucking
I don't think
funny.
I've seen any from that.
I will show you. But anyway, okay, everybody watch SNL on TikTok. This isn't an ad.
Anyway,
I wish it was. We don't
Vegas was great.
Yeah. Bright Light
Big
City.
tangent, but oh my God, was it a
litty?
time?
Yeah, and then the
It
next
was
day Annie's
so
like,
fun.
why don't we go to another day party today? You just did not want to stop.
No, and we almost did, but honestly, we just like didn't have time
Yeah,
because
because we had a
we went
shit
to a
reservation
buffet.
at Carpone.
Oh yeah, but I was more thinking like because we had like a long brunch at the Wynn Buffet, which was sick.
Yeah, the Wynn Buffet is
And
epic.
honestly, we didn't even really get to take advantage of the bottomless champagne because we like didn't really want
Yeah.
champagne the next day.
Yeah, but I stole a bottle of wine. Did anybody drink that?
No.
Well, I was
We
a
love-
thief for nothing. No problem. I don't
Yeah.
care.
I could have packed in my luggage. Actually, I was overweight. My bag was overweight both ways, and the people were so nice to me because I was like, "Oh, it's my bachelorette," and they were like, oh, "Congratulations!"
Did you
Go
put on a baby
ahead."
voice?
No, but I was like, "Oh," because they. No, I didn't put on a baby voice.
But I
just
was like, oh.
because when it was overweight, the guy was like, "Oh, too much shopping in Vegas," and I was like, "No, it's my bachelorette, and my friends got me all these presents." And then he was
blink,
like,
blink.
"Oh, that's really nice. Actually, that's a really good reason to
That is really
have an
nice.
overweight luggage." So then
Did
he
you
was
like my
"Just go."
present?
Yeah, I did. We played like that underwear game. If you've ever seen that, like bachelorettes have this like. There's a bachelorette game. I've never actually played it.
I've never played it either. It was Christine's idea, obviously.
Yeah, I've seen it on TikTok and I've seen it as like when you look up like what to do at a bachelorette, and it's like everyone in the group buys a lingerie set or like a piece of lingerie, and the bride has to guess who gave her
Yes.
which thing.
And I cannot believe you didn't guess Katie for the. Okay, so
I know, because I kind of forgot that you could do two, and
Right.
I picked that one up second.
yeah,
And then I was like, would she give me two of these? And I
Yes.
completely forgot that
that
about
conversation
moment.
happened.
Yeah.
On our group chat with our friends, Katie asked Annie
A long time ago. Months ago.
if she liked this, and it was like on Amazon you can get these underwear that just have like a dick hole essentially for guys.
They're like tighty whities for guys with just a big hole in the front.
Yeah, and like it's so crazy how they advertise them because they have like a blow up penis kind of situation that they put through it. So she sends it to our group chat and she's like, does anybody?
And she's always, for the
She
record,
always does weird
She's
shit.
always just sending random shit that she finds
Oh,
on
you
the
guys know
internet.
this Katie. This is the Katie that always writes in weird shit and puts on different voices. We'll see if we get any of her. She's the one that asked like about like my budgie died and it shit on my boyfriend's shoulder and like
One we're always guessing
yeah.
if it's Katie.
Yeah.
But she always just puts random shit and like is half the time doing a bit.
Yeah.
So she put in the chat, does anyone like this? And I just wrote back saying, yeah. Because I just was like, whatever, I'll respond to her. But like, I wasn't being serious. I just was like, thought I was playing along with her.
So then she goes, so you'd like to see Luke in this? And he goes, sure. And so then we all forget about that. We're like, okay, she always.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if it's hot, but like, yeah, I'd like to see it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a lot of things once. Like, you know, an elephant doing a backflip. I'd like to.
I would like to see that.
I'd love to see it. So anyway, we all forget about that. And then a few weeks later, like, Katie reminds me of this game. And she's like, I got Annie, like, the underwear that she wanted. And I'm like, which underwear that she wanted? And she's like, the one she said she liked. She said she wanted to see Luke in. And I was like, oh my God, like, was she serious? I have no idea, but like, that's funny either way. I'm just giving her a pair of like one of the many I get in the Costco size Fruit of the Loom packs. I wear to bed. Men's underwear to bed, ladies. Yeah. That way, if you have a leaky vagina like me, it's don't look at me like that. No, it's whatever, proof, like leak proof.
Proof. Why is it leak proof? It's just cotton like anything else.
Men's underwear, guys, are more leak proof than women's underwear. I have to say. It's true. It's got to be true. Because they don't fucking wipe their dicks. They just shake their dicks around and then they hope for the best. And the reason they can hope for the best is because their underwear are a better texture than ours. I feel dry in men's underwear, everyone.
Oh, well, I don't want to feel dry.
No. Well, no. I mean, I'm not trying to.
I actually don't sleep in underwear. I put just pajama bottoms. But maybe I'll start in the summer. Sometimes.
I honestly think this might be my hottest take, that I cannot sleep without underwear, because every time I tell people that, they're like, "What? Don't you want to let it breathe?" And I'm like, "No. I like to feel bundled the same way I like the feeling of like having a seatbelt on."
I like my legs being covered, like even like little underwear short, or not underwear shorts, like pajama shorts.
Yes.
I don't usually opt for that unless it's like very hot.
Oh, legs. I'm down for legs to be covered, but underwear will be on too.
Oh, really?
I will not wear just pajama pants. I need pajama pants.
Just pajama pants is my favorite feeling.
Everybody likes that.
Yeah.
I hate it. But maybe because my vagina gets tangled. Maybe. Is it making you all wonder what's happening down there? That I said it's leaky and it tangles? Well, just know that.
Join the Patreon.
You can join the Patreon to hear more about that. And just know that I put this pussy down nice.
Anyway, so Sam got me Fruit of the Loom. Katie got me those underwear for Luke, I guess, that I
and crotchless underwear for yourself.
Yeah, she got,
which honestly looked great on.
Yeah,
Annie tried them on.
That's why I didn't guess Katie for the other ones, because I forgot that I could double up. Like, I forgot that some people got me two things, and I didn't remember this conversation with Katie. So everyone was like, she was like, "Oh my God, how did you not know that was me?" And I was like, "Because I don't remember that."
We can't remember every conversation Katie brings up. She'll just randomly message us and be like, "Does everybody here like whips and chains?" And we'll be like, "Yeah." Like, yeah, we do.
Sometimes I just need to make it stop.
Yeah. But and she, you know what the funniest part about her is? She will send us these random ass messages. Like, she'll just send me a message being like yesterday, she sent me a message with just zzz, like she's tired. She's not well rested. And one time, and she'll just do this so you know that she texts you like that. And one time she texted her parents and her dad responds and goes, "Katie, like, you never have any context." And she was like, "What?" And then in her own messages, she typed in no context. And it's just all of us in different chats being like, "Katie, there was no context." Like, she's saying shit to us and we're trying to be like, "What are you talking about?" Like, how many? I think she typed in no context into her messages and got 800 hits. Because she'll just message you, "You like this? Fucking dick?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure."
No context. Also, when we went to brunch, because she didn't come to brunch, she sent me a screenshot of a conversation with her and a random person. And I was just read her conversation with a random person, and I went, "Oh, cool." And then she thought I knew the person she was having a conversation, but I didn't. But again, she sent me that with no context.
She was like, "It's your friend from camp."
I was like,
and
"No,
Annie's
it's
like,
not."
"I've never heard of this person." And she's like, "Oh, okay." What is this conversation?
Also, I'm at brunch.
Like, see you in 5.
Oh, it was a great, great crew. I felt so loved and special. It was so nice. Like, bachelorettes are the best for that. Like,
yeah, there's a bachelorette's low key better than your wedding.
Yeah, like, it's just, well, there's just nothing like hanging with your girls, and it's so much longer sometimes if you do like a trip. Yeah, and it's just such a good excuse to all get together.
You know what? I, in theory, don't fuck with bachelorette trips, but then in practice, I'm always like, why wouldn't I want to do a girls trip? Like, why wouldn't I want a forced girls trip? Like,
I
don't.
know.
I think it's like you give which you didn't give the illusion. You actually were like, come if you want, don't come if you don't want.
Yeah, it was very not obligatory.
Yes, if it's obligatory, then I get why people are like, listen, I get like this much vacation. I don't want to fucking spend it on your bachelorette.
And it was expensive. It was expensive.
Totally.
Yeah.
But if you can't afford to go, I find I've been on 2 bachelorette trips, and both of them I dread traveling anytime, basically. But like both of them, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that, like whatever. And both times I'm like so happy I went, because I'm like, it's also like an interesting group of girls. So it's like a fun crew, and it's just a good time.
I know, because we were saying like at that brunch, we were saying like we need to make a point to do this. Like you know, it shouldn't only be a wedding that causes us to do trips. Like we need to make a point to do this. But then later, when I was in the room with Allie and Chris, we were talking, and I was like, the cool thing about bachelorettes is you end up doing trips with people you wouldn't do trips with. Like, our group of friends, we will do that, so I'm not worried. Like, and I'm not worried that some of them didn't come. Like, we do stuff together all the time.
Yeah.
It's more that bachelorettes can just be such a pleasant surprise because you bond with people that you didn't know, or like you go on a trip with someone who you weren't as close with.
I went to Montana with like 8 girls I did not know. Like maybe have met a couple times in passing. I was on the plane with this one chick. I was rooming with 3 girls I did not know. I met that day.
Me and Christine's little cousin roomed together when we went to her bachelorette, and I'm like obsessed with her. Like we got so close, and I like miss her. I'm like, we should chill.
I miss her.
I'm like, I like text her being like, should you be coming to my bachelorette maybe? Like,
which cousin?
Natasha.
Oh, yes. I know she has 2 cousins.
Yes.
No, she has more than 2 probably. All right, let's get into these questions here because we got a lot. Thank you guys so much for writing in. You are the gasoline that keeps this motorbike running down the Pacific Coast Highway.
So true. And sorry I faked you out last week when I was like, we're recording, send in your advice. So I'm so sorry if any of your questions were time sensitive. We simply could not last week.
One thing about Annie is she's a tease. So just know that. Invisible string... Oh my God, sorry. Is invisible string real, or am I stupid, and is this messy? Okay, I already love that.
Whoa.
Hi, Sam and Annie. I just subscribed to your Patreon. Hee hee. Oh, thank you, girl.
Oh, sorry about last week.
Sorry, yeah. This pod is everything to me. I'm a 21-year-old girl. When I was 16, I went on a few dates with a boy, but it ended because we were 16. Fair. Since then, COVID, and then I was in a relationship. He was in a relationship, but no matter what, we always kept in contact at least twice a year to catch up. He has always been my I'll always like you person. We spoke all of January. I assumed him and his girlfriend, who he had for the past year, had broken up because our annual checkup was really dragging on. Anyway, he mentions her, and I leave him on red because, ew, go text your girlfriend. True, this has happened to me. Next, 2 weeks later, he texts me that they broke up. Pretty soon, he asks me to hang out. Since we met up, we hang out at least once a week, and they feel like dates, but we are not flirty. We haven't kissed, but we have held hands. Aww. At first, I was afraid.
What?
If I say at first, I was afraid.
I was petrified.
Okay, just checking. And I was going to be his rebound, but clearly not because it is moving so slow. I am being careful because I am aware of his very recent breakup, but literally, what does this mean? Does he like me? Is he just bored? Why no kiss? Thank you for your time. Why no kiss? Okay, I'm going to start. I think he likes you.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I like the subject line, is this invisible string?
Yes. First of all,
deep.
That is deep. I believe in invisible string when it's beneficial to me.
Yes.
So,
I think invisible string is something that can be applied only afterwards.
Only after happily ever after.
Like Luke and I can be like, oh, invisible string tied me to you because we're getting married. But like,
but if you broke up, it's like
I could attribute that to any of my boyfriends if I wanted to. But like, I didn't marry them, so I'm not going to.
That's the right way to do it. You use it appropriately.
Yes.
In fact, you can only use it on the person you marry. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and definitely don't use it as like the rule where it's like, I kind of don't like him, but invisible string. Like,
oh shit, this invisible string's got me in cuffs. No, I definitely think he likes you. I think that it's good that it's going slow like this. Like, also, you know what? You could always kiss him. That's my move. I always kiss people first. Always. I kissed Joe first. And you know what Joe was doing when we first kissed? Holding my hand. And I was like, pussy.
Cute. I kissed Luke first. Also, pre-handhold. We held hands after.
Yes, you did hold hands after. You held hands the whole way home. That was a nice night. We went to a dive bar in Wasaga Beach, and Annie accosted Luke outside the bar.
I know, because he was really playing it too cool, and then I asked Joe if he liked me, and Joe said yes, and I was like, well, I can't tell, so I should just kiss him to let him know it's okay to be nice. But yeah, I mean,
first of all, my advice is just kiss this man and see what happens.
Yeah, and like boys want to kiss, so I wouldn't be reading too much into like why no kiss. Like he wouldn't be chilling with you and holding your hand, and then it's like, ooh, but I'm not interested in kissing. It's like if he's doing the other stuff, then he wants to kiss.
Yes, absolutely. So I don't know about invisible string theory, but he definitely likes you. And I mean, whatever about the girlfriend. You're 21. I'm assuming he's young too. Like maybe he just was over that and like, fuck, whatever. It's not like he was with his like soon-to-be wife.
And if it sounds like you guys were chatting again before that, he probably was like, oh.
He was always kind of on the outs, probably, with his girlfriend. Exactly. If you're chatting with other girls, I mean, that's not... And I don't think that's like a dictator that like he's a fucking cheater, for sure. But I think like you could say like that's sketchy if he did the same thing to you. Or it could just be that he was never really into his girlfriend. Yeah,
or things were fizzling and then you reignited something and he got excited and was like, okay, I actually have to break up with her. And yeah, maybe he's just wanting to go slow to not
It's so
mess
cute
things
that
up.
you guys hold hands. I like that.
Yeah, and like hang out once a week. I just think that's...
Yeah, sorry, what is that?
A guy would not bother doing that if he didn't
And also,
like you.
what kind of friendship has like planned hangs once a week? I feel like, I don't know, like, do you guys plan to hang out with your friends? I feel like I just am there all of a sudden. Like, I feel like unless there's parties, there's like, oh, this Saturday we're going to go to this like show or something or like whatever. There's that. But like, I feel like more often than not with my friends, it's not like I have like a weekly planned hangout. It's more like I am just like,
Except
oh, you around?
Me.
Well, I have to fucking drive
with
here.
Me.
I have to work with you, but I also have to drive here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think, also for those who don't know what an invisible string is, I'm assuming this is what she means, but it's a Taylor Swift song. And it's just like... looking at all these instances.
Is it only from the Taylor Swift song, or is that not a thing? Was that not a thing?
I think
invisible string.
I'm sure someone else has said it before, but I'm assuming that this chick is
kid. Yeah,
like this chick said it so confidently, and I feel like it's like because.
Oh yeah, she didn't say invisible string theory. She just said, "Is invisible string real?" And do you know why I said invisible string theory?
Because it's a theory?
Because string theory is real and it's a quantum physics theory. So just kidding. This probably just is the Taylor Swift song.
I mean, I'm sure the concept has been said before.
Mm-hmm.
But Taylor Swift, I think, made it popular.
Yeah, okay. I just wasn't sure if it was like bucket list.
It might be like Bucket List. And Taylor Swift is the movie.
Yeah.
From 2016 or whatever.
2007. 2007. Yeah, for those of you who don't know this, Bucket List was created for the 2007 movie The Bucket List and didn't exist before that. And there's a massive Mandela effect where people think that the bucket list has been said
always
forever.
A term.
Yeah, and if you ask your parents, like, hey, like, when do you think the word bucket list started to be a thing? My parents were like 50s. My dad's like Vietnam War. Like, whatever. Like, everybody is like, whatever, and there is absolutely no use of this word before 2007. Like, people have been on it, and if you're like me, you're like, no, that's not true. I know my own brain. But then just know that the entire world has already checked every corner of the internet, and it is true.
And also, that's like the defining factor of the Mandela, or feature of the Mandela effect, is like, no, I know my own brain, and it's like, no, but the Mandela effect is what makes you not trust your own brain.
Yes, exactly. Horrifying situation. But anyway, we don't know this situation with invisible string. Maybe someone can look that up and get back to us, or we could just look it up ourselves on our own time.
But the idea is that you were like meant to be.
Yes.
Like, even though you went through all of these things in life, there was like an invisible string.
Let's just say though, invisible string was written about Joe Alwyn.
Yeah.
So there was no invisible string, honey.
There was no string.
They're not getting back together. That guy was a dud.
I think invisible string is only a nice thing to think when you're like married or getting married, and you go like, wow, anytime you think about your exes or anything, you're like, no, it was
always supposed to be him.
Yeah.
We always say this too, like when people get married. I love how this is like so far from this girl's question now, but basically like when people get married, the story is always like, and I just knew from our first date when he like walked in with those margaritas that we were going to be like, whatever. And then it's like, yeah, okay. And if you broke up, you could say, I knew from my first date I didn't want to fuck that dude. Like, you don't know. So
I actually didn't know that with Luke.
That you were going to be together forever?
For sure. For like a while.
I did not know that about Joe.
Yeah. And I don't think that makes it any less romantic.
No. It's cute. You fall in love. You fall even more fond of each other.
So did we answer a question?
I think so.
I think he likes you. I wouldn't
think
read
he
too
likes
much
you, and
into
I think
it.
you should kiss him.
Yeah, I think you should kiss him. I don't know why no kiss, but we both kissed our husbands for the first time.
Yes.
I also could have said why no kiss? Why no even flirt?
Why no kiss? Why
I got no
flirt?
handhold before, so like sometimes they just like you and no kiss.
Yeah, sometimes they just like you and they just suck at showing it, or they're a little bit shy.
Yeah. And maybe because this has been so long and built up, he's like doesn't want to ruin it. And you know what? We don't usually give advice like this.
No, usually
our
we love to
advice
hate.
usually isn't like
positive.
positive.
No, usually it's like, oh, he doesn't like you, move on. But I don't think that's the case
like
here.
Sounds negative here to me.
No, everything sounds quite positive and actually quite beautiful and loving. Nurture this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go piss, girl. Okay, here we go.
Go kiss, girl.
Go kiss, girl. Did I say that or did you say that? Did I? But what did I say?
Piss. Is that what you meant to say?
I said go piss, girl, but then you said go kiss, girl, and I was like, wow, I'm a genius.
No, I'm a genius.
I'm like, did I say go piss, girl? Yes.
And then I made it make sense.
Takes two. Okay, wow. I really thought I did something good there. You ever just like not hear yourself or like not know what just happened?
I love when people say something and then immediately say, what did I just say?
What did I just say? Okay. This subject is the bare minimum. Ever since Orange Theory, I've discovered, and this is not the workout place Orange Theory.
Oh.
Ever since the Orange Theory, I've discovered that the bar is low for some people when it comes to having a girlfriend or boyfriend. What are y'all's bare minimum in y'all's past relationships, and have your ex-partners met or failed the bare minimum? So do you know
What's
about
Orange Theory?
It's that you have an orange and you give it to your boyfriend and you're like, hey, I want an orange. Can you peel it for me? And you see how they respond.
Right.
Or you say,
so you don't say you peel it for me. You say like, oh, I want an orange, but I don't want to peel it.
Yeah.
I think, and they're supposed to be like, oh, I'll peel it for you. Or they just grab it.
Well, first, I think you say, I want an orange. And then when they get the orange, then you go, but I don't want to peel it. And then they peel it for you. So I don't know. And then some people's boyfriends on TikTok have been like atrocious, being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get up and go peel that orange. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Anyway, yes, I can with confidence say about my boyfriends and Annie's boyfriends that they have not met our
God, no. Our expectations?
Not even close.
I'm just like, that orange thing is like there's so many factors to it, because it's like, are they in the middle of something or are they just standing by the fridge? Like,
yeah,
because that's crazy. Is he like working at his computer and I'm just sitting on the couch being like, I want an orange, and he'll be like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know. Or also, I don't even think I have more.
Honestly,
like,
if I was I feel
in,
like if I was in my bedroom and Joe was like, Sam, I want an orange, I'd be like, okay, go get one. Like, I don't think I'd be like jumping out of bed to grab him an orange.
I would be like,
I don't know.
Okay, are you saying I should get one for you? And then if he's like, yeah, I'd be like, okay. But I feel like I would clarify, like, and maybe he's asking me, do we have any? Maybe he's at like,
yeah,
because Lord knows he doesn't do the grocery shopping.
Yes.
But I also think if I didn't want to peel an orange, he would peel it. Like,
100%.
I think more than just me saying I want an orange, I don't expect him to jump up at whatever he's doing and like scour the fridge.
Yeah.
But if we're next to each other and I'm like, oh, I don't want to peel this orange, he would peel it for me.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think anyone, well, maybe not anyone would, but I think it would be kind of crazy to be like, oh, I don't want to peel this, and him go, sucks for you.
Guess you can't eat the orange.
If we're just both sitting staring at the wall. Like, if he's doing something, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying to stop and peel an orange. I hate the smell of orange peel.
Really?
Like, I like orange
Satsuma?
smell. I find it like way too much. So I actually really don't like peeling oranges because that smell on my fingers really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
So if Luke asked me to peel an orange for him, I would be annoyed. You know?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be an orange.
Oh.
Right? Like an orange is just like the symbol for them not doing other things.
Right.
In this case, she's asking, what is your bare minimum in your past relationship, and have your ex-partners failed to meet the bare minimum? Yes.
For sure. That's why we're not
in my past relationship, the bare minimum was having fun.
Yeah.
And my partner did not want to have fun. Yeah. Period. Like he did not enjoy
I remember
life.
You would be like, why is it so hard to just have someone who like comes to things? Like, comes to my cottage for a weekend. Like that. I remember having this type of conversation where it was like, that was the bare minimum. Like, obviously you wanted so many more things, but you're like, isn't a boyfriend kind of just someone who's supposed to at least be by your side at a few things?
Come to shit.
Or just like
wouldn't come to
go for a weekend somewhere?
Everything was hard because he didn't want to do anything.
Basic shit.
Like he didn't want to sleep at my condo. I always had to sleep at his place, and his house was like a fucking frat house. I always had to sleep there. He like didn't want to come for family dinners. Like I'd be like, want to do dinner tonight? Like he was just never in the mood to do fucking anything.
Yeah. I would say that's a bare minimum, is just like someone who's willing to do things.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just like, there's no point in going further with that, because that's like, literally he could have still been the asshole he was, but showed up to shit.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, he wouldn't even show up as an asshole.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask him to change his personality. I was like, I love you the way you are, because I was so fucking sad and dumb.
and then I had a boyfriend who would not respond to my texts. And
Annie's boyfriend
wouldn't charge his phone, and we were long distance. And
no, the best part about that guy that was so funny is that we lived in a walk-up, right? Like you needed a key to the front door, you needed a key to the top door. So sometimes Annie hated doing this because she was afraid of like burglars and shit, but sometimes we would leave like the front door open, and there have been a few times I've seen like a homeless person in that little,
we lived in like downtown Toronto.
Yeah, so you shouldn't really be doing that. But anyway, there'd be so many times where he'd be staying with us and he'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go meet up with my friends or whatever, and then his phone would die and he like wouldn't call or whatever.
I would have no idea like where he went, when he was coming
locked.
back. He's staying with me, like we're long distance, so he was like in town to visit me.
Yeah. And completely just wouldn't respond to her because he was like a space cadet. Like it's not even like, I don't even think it was intentional. It was just like not in his fucking head.
Not a priority.
And then Annie would be like looking out the window. Like I need to look out the window. I don't know.
Before going to sleep.
Yeah.
To like know if this person's gonna have a place to sleep. And then he fucking threw rocks at the window, not in a romantic way.
No, in a I'm hammered, let me in way.
But I know in his mind, he like thought he was in a movie. Like he's like, oh, this is like cool of me. Like I'm throwing rocks at my girlfriend's window. Meanwhile, I'm like upstairs, lights off, like sitting on the couch, seething, being like, why the fuck are you throwing rocks when we are in 17 and we have phones?
Yeah.
And all you have to do is charge them. If you're at your friend's house, anyone's house, if you're at another fucking girl's house, she has a charger.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus. Yeah, so that was a bare minimum, I thought. He also went on a camping trip once for 3 days and didn't tell me he was going and didn't bring his phone. And I just didn't know where he was for 3 days.
I don't remember that.
You don't? It was crazy. I had to text
Who did he go with?
His fucking cousins and
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're visiting and like some of his friends, and then I had to text his sister being like, "Hey, sorry to be involving you, but just like wellness check on your brother.
Yeah.
Maybe you know." And she's like, "Oh yeah, his phone's dead. I'm not like I can't get through to him, whatever." And then she like did some digging and then was like, text me later and was like, "Oh, he went camping for the weekend." I'm like, that's insane.
He also did the thing where he like flew into a hurricane.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you expect this
loose,
low of a bar?
So loose.
He messages Annie one day. He's like, just wanted to say I love you because for whatever reason, what hurricane was it? Edna?
Irma.
There was like a massive hurricane and he flew to the Caribbean. during it, like before it. Like I can't
and then
even
was
believe
like,
flights
oh,
went
we
out
all
that
have
day.
to go into a schoolhouse and board up the windows because like the hurricane's hitting. I'm like,
And Annie's like, where are you?
okay,
Where was he? Bahamas? Where was
like
he?
St. Kitts or something. Or wait, is that this? No, that's Nevis and St. Kitts, right?
Okay, yeah.
St. Kitts is also a nickname for St. Catherine. So I
Yes.
was like, did I just
there's
amalgamate
also
the
St.
two?
Kitts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Very
he didn't die. He lived.
strange. And he also couldn't say something nice about me on my birthday. So there's that. That was a bare minimum thing.
Everyone go around the table and say one nice thing about Annie, and all he had was that she's wicked good in bed.
Which didn't we say that on the pod?
I said it in my story. Like, I've said it on my TikTok.
Oh, you
before.
said it on your TikTok. Yeah.
And there were a bunch.
Oh, yeah, and then everyone came for Luke, and I was like, no, different.
Everybody
guy.
came for Luke, but also people came for me, being like, "Well, that's not that bad. Like, she is good in bed." And I'm like, "How would you know that?"
I'm like, oh, well,
No.
thank you.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay, so advice time. Have we experienced that? Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
And what to look for the bare minimum? I would say like texting you back, coming to things with you. I mean, look for more than the bare minimum, but I would say these would be my bare minimum.
Yes.
Compliments are nice once in a while.
Yeah, you need compliments.
And like having fun.
I love having fun. Sorry, I'm looking for a new question, Annie.
But was that the question? Like,
It was just, what was your bare minimum, and did your boyfriends meet it? And the answer is, these are the bare minimums for basically anybody, and the answer is no.
And the reason why Joe and Luke were so, like, really won us over is, like, they always wanted to do shit.
Yeah.
Remember
They were
when
always
like
down.
newly dating them, and they were like, "Let's go to Florida," and Luke like just bought me a flight to Florida and was like, "Let's fucking go."
They were like, "Let's go." No, when we were first dating them, they were like, "Let's go to Niagara," and they got us like embassy suites with like jacuzzis, and we
yeah, it was so fun.
They were
like,
just game guys. They were fun.
Always wanted to do shit.
They
like...
were fun. No, we do have fun. Yeah. All right, this one, dream dilemma. Love the pod and both of you. Thank you, and I appreciate the alliteration in your subject. So I could use some advice. I'm 32, from Toronto, engaged, and even just had a baby 9 months ago with the help of IVF. I'm so happy with my life and know I'm with the best partner. Congratulations.
Wow.
My issue is I keep having dreams about my ex from 6 years ago. It was only a 1.5-year relationship that ended kind of bad, but it's so frustrating. We have zero contact, and yes, I have done some occasional social media creeping, but nothing beyond that. Why can't my mind seem to let go of this? I feel so guilty even though it's out of my control. Some dreams are romantic, some are not, but either way, I just wake up after with this person in my head. How the heck do I move on and get this person out of my head? I do not want them there. Love, one of your lovely Patreon subscribers. Aww, thank you for subscribing. This is a problem I have
this too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot you had it. I know I have it. I dream about my ex, the one I was actually just talking about. The one you were talking about too?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got like a main ex, right? That like the main one.
Just like that fucked you up just enough.
To dream about them for years to come.
Even
like,
when you're happy.
Even when you're happy. Like I dream about my ex-boyfriend. I don't know. It depends. It honestly depends, and I don't know what it depends on, obviously, because it's my subconscious. But like I haven't had a dream about him at this point in like 6 months. But when I do have a dream about him, I am rattled because I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it's always like, it's never like good. Like even if it's romantic, it's kind of weird because obviously there's a part of my brain that's like, this is weird. Like I'm married or whatever. Or in your case, obviously you have a fucking kid too, like whatever. But I think it has something to do with just like a lot of situations, like most relationships you got to kind of put a bow on and be like, okay, like, you know, or some people just, you know, if you fall out of touch, like with old friends or something like that. But when there's like something where you're not sure how it would go if you ran into them because it didn't end on good terms and you haven't seen them since, I think your brain makes up scenarios. And a side note is when I took psychology, like people don't know why we dream. I took psychology 10 years ago. Maybe they figured it out. But back then, my professor was like, the leading theory for why we dream is your brain trying to work out scenarios that like could happen and like assess and run basically simulations of risk. And the example he gave was like if there's like a kid that lives in the jungle and he dreams every night about what would happen if like a lion broke into his camp or something. Like maybe that kid has a better chance of actually figuring it out if that were to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't
or
know.
I have nightmares about my wedding all the time now.
Evolution.
And it's like my brain trying to be like, well,
Yeah.
like maybe preparing myself for like, this is such an unknown thing.
Yes.
And you have to be okay with things going wrong. And
It's like exam fear too. Like when people have an exam or a big event, like, and your brain just runs through like horrible outcomes to prepare you. So I don't know. Maybe it's that.
Did you find, because like obviously you're saying I don't know what brings it up, like, but I do remember having an influx of these kinds of dreams more when I first got engaged.
Yeah, maybe that did happen.
Like, it was kind of obviously a big change in my life because it was sort of like, okay, this is who I'm ending up with. And obviously if you've had those thoughts about even someone who was like a bad boyfriend, obviously you like think that. And I think with healthy relationships, you can like just get over them easier and put them to bed. But with these ones that are just like didn't end great and whatever, like you said, you can't put a bow on it. And I remember I would have dreams where it was like I was like telling him or I was seeing him and it was like a known thing that I was engaged.
Okay, I had the exact same dream. Yes. Yeah. I remember having dreams that I was talking to him with a wedding ring on, being like, when's he going to notice that we're not even allowed to have this conversation and this isn't going anywhere? Like, would he be mad?
Yeah.
But like in real life, I don't think either of our exes would be mad. But
mad.
It's like, no,
also
mad.
like mad.
The fuck? You
okay,
dumped me.
sorry. Like,
yeah. But
so I feel like that, and so maybe if you just had a kid, I forget what she said how long ago, but like I feel like sometimes when you go through a life thing where it's like, okay, I guess this is my life, like this is my husband, I guess that I've been thinking about this faceless, anonymous husband, didn't know
and I
who
feel
it
like
was
maybe
gonna
they
be.
come to represent like, now this is a person that is not really a missed opportunity, but like they represent
a way that your life could have gone.
Yes.
And maybe you're like checking in with yourself
and an old version of your life and an old version of you.
And the end of something, like the end of
possibility
of, or like confusion. Like you know who you're with, you have your little family now, and it's like the end of dating in that way that is tumultuous and annoying. But you know what? I would say if you have like these dreams are harmless, and my advice to myself is enjoy them. Mm-hmm. You don't really get to fuck around with your ex in real life, but there's something fun about doing it for sure. It's taboo as hell. Yeah. So like, and don't you kind of like, I wish I could teleport to my ex and his phone when he saw that I got engaged. Like obviously he stalks me. We don't follow each other, but like,
oh, he 100% stalks you.
So it's like, I know he knows I'm engaged. Wouldn't that be fun if you could be there to see his reaction? Because like, I thought it was crazy when my exes got engaged.
How many of your exes have been engaged?
One.
Two. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one's married.
Yeah.
And like, that was juicy to me still. My ex from like ages and ages ago. So it's like, I think there's something that's just human nature to being like, wow, like I had a kid. I wonder what so-and-so would think about this. Yeah. Because I think it's going to be crazy the first time one of my exes has a kid. It's like, whoa, that could have been me. Yeah. Like that's who your kid is. You just have a kid with someone else.
And then maybe you're going to have a dream about your ex when you have kids. I feel like, I feel like you're right. It does like increase during milestones. Definitely when I got engaged, and I think after I got married, I had a few dreams about my ex. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I can't remember, but I dream about him enough. A decent amount.
Yeah, and sometimes they just pop up randomly because you don't know what throughout the day reminds you of someone, or like something that your partner does. Like you can be very happy with your partner, but something could just jog your memory of like, oh, that was similar to that person, or that was opposite from that person, and your brain flags it as like, I'm going to think on that later, because you're like doing whatever in your day and you don't have time to really flesh that thought out. But at night, your brain's like, don't worry.
But at night.
I pinned that.
Yeah.
And we're going to think about it.
And we're going to dream all about it. And you know what? I think if you have taboo dreams, just enjoy them. Because your life is never going to be taboo again because you have a good life.
Also, we have dreams, you more than me, have dreams that we fight with each other. Like you definitely have a lot of dreams where you're like yelling at me about something, or like I'm yelling at you.
I have dreams where you have dreams where I'm yelling at you?
No, you do.
Oh, no.
You have dreams where you always are telling me like, oh my God, I was so like we were like in a fight and
oh yeah, I will have
mean anything.
No, I'll have random dreams that me and my friends are in fights. No, I don't think that means anything. It'll be like it'll be a crazy fight. That's how I know it means nothing. It's like it's like you do something crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like, who knows what the fuck that's for, but that doesn't mean our relationship is in peril.
No.
So I think brain has its own
agenda,
little journey.
And what is its agenda? I don't know.
And unfinished business is such a powerful thing. Like before I got engaged, when I would dream about this ex, it would be dreaming about like that first conversation, seeing each other again, because we ended so abruptly and like never spoke again and never got like closure or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think like my brain just literally was trying to reconcile how someone could be so important in your life, like in love with, that's your person, to like all of a sudden dead, literally dead to you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And
it is crazy.
How are you not going to think about that when you're
sleeping?
And
I also think when you don't see someone for a while and you like have that abrupt ending, you're just like filling in the blanks. Like I think that's what a dream is a lot for me, where I'm like, what would this even be like? Like I'm just like filling in the, like what's like, it's me asking him sometimes like, oh, I heard you have a girlfriend, like what, like I just don't know everything, and I want to, I guess.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that
you're curious, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes we all get a little bit curious.
And sometimes you get curious when like the better things are going, the more your brain wants to kind of like add some drama.
Yes. Sometimes when things are going really well, brain likes to be like, oh.
Yeah.
Don't you want to be
Don't you ever just like
girl?
Pick a fight when things are going a little bit too good?
Always. Don't you ever just like watch something sad when you're a little too happy? Like,
yeah.
You know.
I think brain is just trying to like spice things up.
Slap you in the ass so you can feel. That's all brain's doing, and that's okay. Flirty. I was wondering, since we missed last week, should we do one more and make this a long episode?
Yes, we
I was thinking that we should bless our fans. We should bless our fans. And everybody who's out there dreaming about their exes, just know so are all of us. Just like all of us do cacas and peepees.
Yeah, and this wasn't a dream, but remember that girl who wrote in saying why is she obsessed with stalking her ex's or her ex's girlfriend, or no, her boyfriend's girlfriends all of a sudden? Sorry, I'm gonna start.
What?
Remember the girl?
Yeah.
We had this confusion last time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be very clear.
Please.
Remember the girl who wrote in saying, my boyfriend snores and that's fine. Oh. and why am I all of a sudden worried about or like obsessed with stalking people he's previously dated?
Yes.
Her partner's
yes.
old flames.
Yes, I remember this girl.
And we were like, don't worry. Like, it doesn't mean anything about your relationship. It's probably your own
thing. Means something about
you or like what's going on in your brain.
Yes.
And let brain just work that out. Actually, I think that was different because we were like, just stop stalking them.
Yeah.
So this is not.
We said stop stalking them because that girl, it was getting to be a problem where it was everyone he's ever dated or even like.
And in that case, I actually do think it was some sort of insecurity. This I don't think it is.
No, I don't think this is insecurity. I think I know it's not an insecurity because I feel the same way, and I do not question my marriage or my part. Like I literally can't believe how lucky I am to be married to the person I'm married to. But I'm like, yeah, fucking doesn't stop the kitten from being a little curious. Meow.
It doesn't mean you have to fucking dream about the guy all the time. You see him every waking minute. You got to think about him when you're sleeping too. Think about someone else for a change.
My biggest fucking annoyance is that I don't know how to lucid dream, so I can't fuck other people at night.
Yeah.
Like a celeb. Come on. I hate that when I have sex dreams, one part of my brain goes, you're married. And then I go, you're right. I can't. What the hell's that?
Yeah.
Pussy
that
behavior.
Almost is lucid dreaming.
In the worst way.
It's like you're getting too real. I don't think I do that.
Oh my God, I do that all the time. I'm like, oh, it's because I know that I have the capacity to be truly evil. So brain
has to reel you in.
Has to check me sometimes. Like I said about Katie in Vegas, I go, Katie needs to be checked.
Checked? Oh, checked out?
No, like checked. Like someone's got to check that bitch. Oh, fuck. Katie, you weren't there when I said that, so you might think I was talking shit about you, but I was being silly, actually. It was after we saw the thing where she said your friends.
Oh, when she sent me the screenshot with no context.
And I went, that bitch needs to be checked. And Emma was like, pardon.
I thought you meant put in check. I was like,
I kind of meant that. Like, yeah, like that bitch needs to get checked.
Okay, anyway, we love you.
We love you, Katie. Okay. Okay, here is a fun one. This is going to be like our last question. We're just doing a little bit of an extra one. The subject is coming out. The message is, I'm trans and I'm currently in the process of transitioning. It's extremely nerve-wracking and anxiety-inducing. I've struggled a lot with coming to terms and being comfortable admitting my identity. It feels like some people in the community can just walk about proudly after coming to terms with it recently. And I still have massive anxieties that are fueled by hate I see in person, online, in the media, etc. I'm just wondering, are some experiences easier or better per se when dealing with identity? Why am I getting mocked for who I am, but I see others who are on similar different journeys with LGBTQ community who aren't, within the LGBTQ community who aren't? Would you two be able to discuss what you've noticed has changed or what you've personally noticed could be improved upon when supporting LGBTQ, focusing on the trans community? Wow. I love that you fucking are bringing us here because I feel like most of our questions are not this
so highbrow.
Not so highbrow. Okay, I'm obviously like I'm not trans, so disclaimer.
Yeah, which they know because
I talked about my vagina being leaky and twisted up.
No, because like obviously they wrote in being like these are two dumb bitches, and I guess I want their input on this
difficult thing I'm going through. Yeah, that's the whole point of the podcast, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of it is.
Wait, did they say
where they're from and where they live?
That and what gender to what gender?
No, they didn't say.
Okay. Not that it matters, but I was just curious.
No, they didn't say. Why am I getting mocked for who I am, but I see others in similar different journeys? Okay, well, I honestly think two things. I feel like I've tried to express this in like other capacities as well, but I just feel like there's too much of an idea that like in each community people are the same.
Yeah.
Like don't discredit the community. Well, not that you're doing that. I'm just saying like not everybody's the same within that community. It's not like all trans people have it easy or all trans people have it hard or all trans people are confident or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like obviously there's a spectrum to that as well. And I think that the people that you see that are having an easy time, it could just be a tolerance thing to because everybody sees trans hate. It's not like some people aren't seeing it. Like everybody can see it. Maybe it's not directed at them because maybe they live somewhere more liberal. Like you're not really going to get a lot
or further along on their journey. Like you don't know how long maybe other people dealt with their feelings or like
other shit.
Yeah. And before you're seeing them really happy and open and accepting. Like,
yeah, totally. I feel like
also trans issues are obviously very much in the media and talked about right now and is like a controversial topic for some. But like in the future, this will not be a thing is the hope. Like, is that it will be so normalized, kind of like how being gay was.
Yeah, you're a pioneer.
And so when you say like seeing other people in the LGBTQ community, it's like gay rights now are so not that people don't still experience hate, but it's so normalized now being gay in the way that I hope being trans will soon be.
I think that'll definitely be the case. Like I
and
feel
the people who are talking about it and feeling comfortable enough to be open is going to help with that.
Totally. I definitely think it's going to get to that point. But as for like helping you right now, I think that the other people are experiencing hate and other people are experiencing things, and it's just like handling things differently. Like just the way like we handle things, like the way you're a people pleaser and I'm not. Like we're just different types of people. Like some people just give less of a fuck, or some people have more like support, like their families behind them more, so it's easier to give less of a fuck. Or some people live in more liberal areas, like you're not really getting as much hate as a trans person on the street in Toronto. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like some cities are like way more liberal than others. Yeah. And like you can kind of feel more comfortable in different areas. So I think there's like a lot of factors, and I don't know where you live. I'd like to.
Yeah.
I don't know where you live, and I don't know like the support system you have and stuff. So, but that would be my guess. But I don't think it's the case that every trans person is like just flying through and it's all cool and having a good time. And then it's just like you getting like being aware of this hate. But I will say, like the thing with trans and the thing with like how gay was back in the day, it's like those people that are hateful are simply on the wrong side of history. You can't stop the beat, babe.
Yeah.
It's happening.
And also, it's very normal to feel this way because it is in the media. Like, there is a lot of hate. I don't know if you're in the US, and this is trickling into Canada for sure, so I don't want to say it's just an American thing, but like, I would feel this way too if it was constantly in the news, people discussing whether I'm real.
Yeah.
And deserve rights and deserve this and deserve that. Like, that would be really hard to
and I think
openly identify that way when there's a whole group of people being like, this is
fake.
pretend.
Yeah, you're
like,
living in make-believe land.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's crazy. And I also think like besides that, there's also comparing yourself within the community to other people that just like maybe just aren't on the same journey as you or like are just different. Like, I actually wonder, like with like trans influencers like Dylan Mulvaney, for example, like I feel like she's been really inspiring for a lot of people, but I wonder if that same kind of thing is like a double-edged sword for others. I don't know. You can tell me, trans community, who I hope listens.
Yeah, but I would say probably representation is good no matter what, right? Like, showing so many different types of trans people is only going to help the cause, because it's like, okay, yeah, we're not just pointing to one person. Like, hopefully in the future there'll be multiple trans influencers, so you don't only have to identify with Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah,
if she's not your vibe.
Yes,
yes,
maybe there aren't enough influencers to like,
yeah, or actors or whatever. Like,
yes,
it's starting to be, but I feel like once, like, that is always the thing that that normalizes anything. Like,
yes, there has to be more so that you can find at least one person you
identify
and if you don't like
someone,
like, the few there are,
or if people don't like someone, it's not like because they're trans, it's just like, oh, that person's not my vibe.
Yeah.
And I mean, with anything, like, there used to be no women in certain fields.
Yeah, you wouldn't see a
like,
woman at a sports desk, honey.
Sports desk?
Yeah, like at like Leafs lunch.
Lunch?
Leafs lunch. You know about Leafs lunch?
No.
And they sit down and talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Who does?
Bunch of sports people, sports analysts. Like, I don't know, like when you see like, you know, like Ron McLean on Hockey Night in Canada.
Right.
It's like that, but there's a girl there now.
Great.
Our friend Takia is on TSN.
Yeah.
Women in sports, women in STEM.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, representation matters.
Representation does matter, and
it will come. It is coming.
It will
and
come,
I
but
think
you are a pioneer. Like, you're like this generation of trans people are really the ones fucking breaking it down. So it's not going to be easy, but I guess
in light of a lot of people trying to make it not.
You know what? I wonder if those people have ever hung out with a trans person. It's never fucking crossed my mind. Like, I know a few trans people. I never think of them as not the gender they're choosing.
Yeah.
It's never fucking crossed my mind that a trans
so
woman,
like conceptually,
that's a woman.
These like people that are hateful, conceptual, like, you know what? I think there's a lot of things like that where people conceptually have problems with something, but in practice you're like, oh,
do you really give a fuck?
Well, not you. Like,
I like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, that actually your life has nothing to do with mine. Like, you know, people get so up in arms about the possibility of things. And didn't we talk about this Dax Shepard and
yes. Oh, I really
JVN
like this
thing?
point. I really like this point. Say it.
Well, and say what you will, because I know there are a lot of trans people who like are like, fuck Dax Shepard for this. Fine. Like, fine.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm on JVN's side in the argument of that. If you know what, should I even give a backstory on this? Basically, Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye is not trans, officially, but he's very outspoken on trans issues, and I think he goes by he.
Oh, I don't know.
He's they.
I thought I
think he's he and they.
Okay, he they. Then you can say he.
Okay, sorry if I'm mistaken.
I'll look him
with
up.
That.
JVN, right?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'll just say they. Anyway, they were on Dax Shepard's podcast, and they were talking about trans issues, and his. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's what I thought. Anyway, so they were talking about especially trans people in sports, which is a very hot button issue, and usually the issue that people point to when talking about trans issues. And the one thing that people go like, well, we can't have trans people, and like, what about the Olympics?
Right.
And Jonathan's point was like, why are we making these blanket decisions based on something that is so minuscule? Like, that's like saying like, oh, well, we can't have trans actors because what do we do for the best actor, best actress category? Like, like it's not the exact same because there's no like biological differences. Yes. But let's say, like, my point is, okay, well, the people who win an Oscar are 0.2% of the actors in the world. Yeah. And same with Olympians, right? It's like the pool of people that are Olympians versus all of the beautiful trans kids who just want to play sports. Yeah. It's like we are making a decision that a trans kid can't join a certain gender soccer team on the weekend because what do we do when it comes to the Olympics? And maybe I'm oversimplifying that issue, but that's, that was sort of what they were discussing. And Jonathan Van Ness really got me to learn a lot about that issue that I didn't know, because I didn't know anything about that issue, because I'm lucky I didn't have to. But anyway, I was really fully on his side, but people were mad at Dax Shepard for his take, for asking the question and like sort of playing the other side, which like you can be annoyed at him for his beliefs if you think he believes the opposite of that. But I was saying like, they were saying he should have taken this episode down. And I'm saying like, what an amazing thing that he was willing to have that conversation publicly so that people who maybe didn't know about the issue and didn't really know what the big deal was, someone who might just say, well, yeah, that's not fair for the Olympics to have a trans person competing in the other category, actually zoom out and realize how damaging that decision could actually be. Because we're not talking about Olympics. We're talking about all the trans people that just want to play sports normally. Right. And it's not for a medal. And I thought the conversation was really productive. And I came away learning so much more. And I'm already someone who is sympathetic to trans issues, already on that side of things. But Dax's opposition, or I guess devil's advocate, was what allowed me to learn a lot more, rather than two people who are fully on the exact same side of trans issues having this conversation, right?
And you need more people to like, not to like praise the straight white guy in this situation, but you do need more people to like have those kinds of conversations, maybe say something like fucked up, so that like their audience can now hear like this other take that they wouldn't have heard if their person was just like, true, okay, yeah, but like, I have a fucking question, like,
and maybe I wouldn't have listened to a Jonathan Van Ness podcast because I maybe would have been like, oh, I don't really like know about that issue. Like, maybe I wouldn't have clicked on that if it had been someone else's, but since it was a podcast I already listened to, it was like, and exactly that, like, I'm on the more liberal side of Dax Shepard's audience, but there's definitely so many people who maybe wouldn't have, or who maybe went into that episode feeling one way and came out learning a lot. This was a huge tangent. I don't really know how I got on that.
Oh, I just want to make it an addendum. Van Ness identifies as non-binary, although he has stated a preference for using he, him pronouns. Okay. He's also down to be called she, her, and they, them interchangeably. Right. I fucking love that.
Yeah, exactly. He's not trans, but since he's non-binary, like,
use them all, baby. Use them all. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I forget what got me on that.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
That was interesting.
Because I'm already someone who wants trans people to have rights, and I came away from that being like, wow, I want them to have even more rights. I really want them to play sports. I want them to play all the sports.
Anyway.
And I also just think the Olympics, like, who fucking cares?
Honestly, I'm so annoyed when the Olympics come on. Cares? And everybody's like, okay, time to watch luge. Fuck you.
I find to watch them happy for them. It's just like, are we really going to fuck up people's lives?
I love how it's always that too.
Medal?
It's always Olympics, Oscars, Grammys. Yes, that make people be like, okay, well, how are we going to give them the Grammy? I don't know. Don't. Fuck you.
It really doesn't matter. It's one day and then everyone forgets. Yeah. I know Olympians train their whole lives, but like, maybe you shouldn't.
I love that take. I fucking love that take.
It's not my problem. Like, it's not my problem.
Ugh. You chose to be an athlete? I'm sorry. Like, why can't you just play sports for fun?
I just don't think that someone should fuck up their whole identity, like, and have their life be so difficult because they want to play a sport, but they're not the gender.
Oh, no. Yeah, definitely not that. I'm talking more about,
so
like, just,
someone
like,
else can just win a random medal. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Be an athlete, like, be a professional athlete. I think it's just, like, I don't know.
It's giving the guy from Free Solo. I hate to bring him up again, but I'm just like, why do you need to, like, do this? Why do you need to be an Olympic athlete? If my kid gets too into sports, God damn it. Every sports documentary, the person's a freak.
Our fingers are coming
out. Our fingers are up. We are wagging our fingers. We are upset. Tiger Woods is a freak.
No one, that is not driven by the kid. This is what I'm saying. Olympians are bred by the parents.
Annie, you're fucked for that
one.
one.
You need to start at age 3 to be an Olympian most of the time in a lot of sports.
You know what?
I'm sorry. Like, it's the same with actors. Like, I really did want to be an actor as a kid. My mom wouldn't let me till I was 13, and I wanted to early. But that's the operative sentence. My mom wouldn't let me be a full child star. I was a teen star.
Yes.
And even then, she was kind of like, this sucks, but, like, she won't shut up about it, so, like, I'll let her dabble.
Yes.
But, like, I'm sorry. If you're going into acting at 3, your parents are allowing that.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I had no choice. My kid wanted to wake up and go to figure skating practice before and after school every single day, and I had nothing to do with it. I just couldn't say no. So, like,
do you know I met a set of parents like this on my honeymoon? There was these parents that Joe and I, like, were sitting at the bar and we're talking and, you know, we're making conversation with them. I don't know why they weren't asking us a single fucking question about ourselves. At the end of the conversation, it's one of those things where at the end of the conversation we were like, oh, we're on our honeymoon. They're like, crazy. Like, fuck you.
Hate
Yeah,
that.
Exactly. Like, we got married a week ago. That could have been something we talked about, but instead we talked
Here's a little something we could talk about.
Here's a little something we did talk about. Their 3 kids, and they were telling us how the middle one is 15 and a ballerina. This conversation prompted me to literally fucking despise ballet. I already thought ballet was fucking stupid. Whatever. It's not my cup of tea. And that is why I would never voice that opinion maybe out loud. Because I'm like, all right, that is something that, like, whatever. I don't need to see, like, a bunch of twinkle toes people. Like, I don't fucking care. Oh, you're anorexic.
I like ballet. But I would never let my kid be a ballerina.
I feel like I have to cut what I just said.
No, it's true.
Like, this is the problem with ballet.
It's true.
Like,
there are a lot of things where it's like it gives you, like, figure skating is another one that, like, gives people eating disorders. You have to be, like, small.
How skinny you need to be for ballet. I wasn't saying
acting breeds eating disorders.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to say, oh, you're anorexic. Like, oh, you're anorexic. I'm free. Yeah, you are lucky for that. But I didn't mean to say, oh, you're anorexic. Like, oh, you're anorexic, bitch. No, I meant, like, oh, like, I have to watch someone who's anorexic
for
miserable,
my pleasure? Yeah,
fucking broken ass toes with bunions. Like, what the fuck is this? So they're telling me about their daughter, and the daughter's 14, okay, and they live in California, and they're telling me, like, oh yeah, our daughter's dance studio, she goes every morning, and I'm like, where do you live? And they live in LA, and the dance studio, they live, like, in the hills, and her dance studio's in, like, somewhere weird, like somewhere far. I forgot what she said. And I was just like, and she's like, yeah, like, she's really upset right now because the coach told her that she was getting a little too big and whatever. And so they're telling me this, like, I'm going to be like, so I go.
Yeah, like, what are you going to be like? Oh, you should get her on a diet.
No,
then.
So I said, like, fuck that coach. Like, she should quit. That's what I say.
Love it.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, no. She's just got to, like, we told her, like, you know, you just have to, like, try a little bit harder. And it's a different. So now she's doing new auditions and she'll audition again. Like,
oh my God. If they're saying that to, like, strangers at the pool, then I can't imagine what they're saying to their kid.
Exactly. So this is feeding into your whole Olympians are bred thing. Like, this poor fucking girl, she's been doing ballet forever. She's 14. Yeah. And she's being told that she's fat. And her parents are like, yeah. I'm like, this conversation was fucking stupid. And also, like, like, people just need to not be ballerinas, and people need to stop watching ballet. We are like, ballet is crazy, guys. Like, you have to be fucking so tall and skinny to do ballet. We're canceling models all the time. We're going like, no more, like, let's bring like plus size to Victoria's Secret. And even when they do bring plus size, they're not plus size enough. Like, and we're still down for fucking ballet. Ballet's fucked. That's my take. Yeah. And if you do ballet, if your kid does ballet, like baby doing ballet,
of course, baby doing
I'm
ballet.
not talking about baby doing ballet. I'm talking about your 14-year-old being told,
and your coach saying you're too fat.
Yeah, your Russian coach telling you you're too fat.
Yeah,
because I feel like it's always a
maybe
Russian
the guys
coach.
should be stronger.
Maybe the guys should be strong, but it's an aesthetic.
I know. It's
like, you're not wafy enough. We can't see your ribs, and your toes are not fucking broken enough. And they were also telling me that their kid like can barely walk. It's like, it's sick. Insane. I'm sorry. That's like insane.
I know.
My kid's not doing ballet unless they're a baby, because it's cute to see a baby in a tutu.
Of course.
And if they want to be a ballerina for Halloween, that's fine. But they're not entering the establishment. There's no royal conservatory for my lineage.
No, and they're not like, they're not attaching their identity to like, and their worth to like their ballet career.
No.
I honestly don't even want my kid to be an actor.
I don't want my kid to be doing fuck all. Just stay home and stare at the walls. Learn to fucking paint. That'd be good. Painting. You can do it in the own home. I don't need
in the own home.
I don't need to drive you to an arena. We're talking from Canada here, eh? Like, everybody is a hockey player. Like, if we have boys, we will be driving to arenas.
Yeah,
it's
heck,
because
even girls. I played hockey too.
Yeah, you
don't be sexist.
I have to be. I have to hope that there's an option where no one wants to play hockey.
I'm going to put my kids in activities because you kind of have to do shit with them.
Yeah, go play tambourine.
You got to not force. Like, I did so many activities that I didn't go for.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, the only activity I really fucked with was computer camp. And guess who set up the family's Wi-Fi? Me in grade 5. And guess who
does the tech for this podcast, which I guess shouldn't be a flex, but.
Oh, no, Annie. You could do the tech. It's not that hard. Even though I've gotten a million messages.
Joke about how our tech is bad. But it's better than what I could do.
Oh my goodness.
It's way better than what I could do.
Well, actually, you want to know how bad the tech is? We have some men watching, and the men love to let me know that these are actually mics that are, I don't know what the hell the word is for these, but you're supposed to talk into them here.
Why didn't you tell me that?
Because the sound is fine when we talk into them here. And I don't like how this looks. It covers my whole face.
Who said that? What man?
A few men messaged me being like, hey, like, those mics aren't, there's like condenser mics, and then there's like another type of mic that like catches shit from the outside, and this is the other kind.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not doing that.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah. Oh no, I did something. Anyway, was there a question about?
No, it was that
I just feel like we're not very well equipped to talk on it, but here we are doing a quick hour on trans issues. But we love you, and
yeah, we do.
You'll get there. Like, I wouldn't be. Just don't be hard on yourself and judgmental about your journey.
And just know there's like, for all those people that you see that are like, just know that the angriest people are always the loudest, and it doesn't mean there's the most
stupidest
and the dumbest.
I don't know anything.
To care that much about other people is
oh my God, can you imagine?
No, I'm not a loser, so I can't imagine. I don't give a fuck what anyone's doing besides me and my friends personally, but anyway, I don't give a shit about that. But just know, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Just know that for all the people that like are being haters, there's a lot of people that are lovers, but they're just not as outspoken about it because like, first of all, I'm never like in the comments fighting with like weird ass bigots. So you're not going to see normal people.
That's a good point.
Like being like in the comments being like,
hey, I disagree.
Hey, yeah, like you can't reason with these trolls.
That's true, because normal people usually like aren't so much fighting in the comments.
No, man. Like I barely, okay, sometimes I'll get in a mood and I'll fight in my own comments because I'm defending myself. Right. Maybe. But even then, you can't win. Like these people, like people that are so fucking angry and commenting and trolling like on trans issues or any issue like that are like losers. You can't, and especially, God forbid it's coming from the man upstairs. God forbid it's like a whole like religious thing. Then you're just talking to.
Oh, and I talked to the man upstairs. He's cool with it.
The man upstairs could give two fucks about trans people. He's
actually really cool with it.
The man upstairs doesn't even really care about the conflict in Palestine.
Oh, hell no.
So,
and he should.
Yeah. So I don't think he cares about trans people either, personally. Wait, I didn't... The look Annie just gave me.
Because I was like, wait, I was saying something else.
No, we're saying that he does not care that trans people exist. He's not angry at trans people.
No,
for
he's
existing.
happy.
Sure, he's happy. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He actually doesn't exist.
He doesn't exist. But if he did exist...
Or maybe he does, if you are into
Or
that.
maybe he does, because I'm kind of into that.
Oh,
Annie,
right.
you insulted me.
I thought you said that you...
Believe in evolution and God at the same time.
I forgot.
Yeah, I did
that
say
was
that.
so many episodes ago.
Yeah, anyway, God loves you if you believe in God, and if you don't believe in God, or if you're not trans, God doesn't care if people are trans.
Yes.
Just know that. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah,
He doesn't care about a lot of
Didn't
things.
the Pope say it's fine, too?
I feel like this Pope's pretty woke. The Pope
Not
definitely...
that we care about what the
We
Pope
don't care
says.
about the Pope, but...
It's not up to the Pope.
This isn't for... We're not telling the trans people this. We're telling the bigots who might be watching.
Right.
The Pope says it's fine. But the bigots aren't watching because we're so fucking left.
The bigots might be watching after your Beyonce thing.
I might have attracted the wrong
I
crowd.
hope not. So that's why we had to do this question on trans
Yes,
rights.
yes,
So the
this
bigots know where we stand.
Yeah, that wasn't even an authentic question. I wrote it in myself. So the bigots know that I'm all sorts of pro-life.
Yeah, I was gonna say not all sorts of pro, just the good ones. Pro-choice, pro-trans, pro-LGBT,
Pro-gay, dude.
pro-women.
Fucking be gay, please. Be gay and come over
What?
to my house to hang out. All right, I think that'll do it for this episode. Maybe we should just move on to our Patreon now, where we're going to talk about that horrible experience we had at Carbone.
And then some.
And then some. And maybe even you'll reveal the name of your boyfriend from Degrassi.
No, not yet.
What? Not even on Patreon?
Mm,
No, Annie, say you will so that the people in here subscribe.
yeah, I might. It might not be this episode.
But
It'll happen at some point, so you might as well get subscribing.
yeah, and if you want to hear about my labiaplasty,
Oh, that's exciting.
$5 to hear about how I got my whole labia sliced off. 36 stitches.
A steal.
It's still for you. It was quite expensive for me.
For Joe.
For Don't tell them that.
That's a good boyfriend.
Yeah, Joe bought me a new vagina.
But by your
No, he couldn't stand it.
No, Joe didn't
No,
care.
Joe
didn't
loved
want
it. Joe liked it the way it was. He was like, keep that. I said, no, I don't want the extra bits. It's weighing me down when I cycle.
Okay, say no more. Save it for the Patreon, honey. Don't give away all your bits.
I won't. Okay, guys, this has been a great long episode of Dollspace. We love you, and thanks for writing in and writing it more. And we had a lot of questions that we didn't get to this week.
Can't wait. For next week. We will be on track now pretty much until
Guys, we're back
my
at
wedding.
it. Come on. Like, next week is Annie's second bachelorette party. We're having a slumber party here. Maybe we'll have some of the piggies on.
Oh.
Maybe we'll have some of the piggies on the pod.
That's what we
Piggies,
call
if
our
you're
friends.
listening. Yeah, our friends are called the pigs. Pigs, if you're listening, maybe you want to be on the pod. Off camera. You let us know.
Let us know.
Just text us. Okay.
Okay.
Love you guys. Love y'all.
You always do that before the YouTube.
I knew you'd be mad. And guess what? This part is going on YouTube.
She always breaks the fourth wall and like ends the pod visually before ending it sonically.
I'm ending it sonic.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Collect all.
Wow, I hope my phone got all that.
Dollspace 19.